Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, welcome. And to all my girls that watch my videos, thank you for coming back, sis. So today we are going to do a get ready with me chit chat. And I just decided that I wanted to kind of talk to y'all about how my husband and I actually started dating and how we met, and pretty much how I feel like I manifested my husband, because yeah, your girl knew what she wanted and I put it out there. So I want to actually talk to y'all, and for all the girls that are, you know, ready to possibly find their husbands or their soulmates or their significant others, then, you know, keep watching. Since my eyebrows are micro shaded, I don't really draw my eyebrows anymore. I don't feel like I really have to. Now, it is some little spots that's probably a little lighter than the others, but in all honesty, it doesn't look bad. Even if you are all in my face, you probably wouldn't notice. The only reason why I notice is just because it's in my face. But I actually like how it's lighter in the front and then gets darker at the end. So literally all I do now is just brush up my real hair to help it kind of blend in, and then I go straight to outlining my eyebrows with my concealer. And this concealer is LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm sure y'all have seen this all over the internet for years, and I still use it. And the color I'm using is Pearl Beige. So something that I used to do that I don't do anymore is I do not add the concealer to the top part of my brows anymore. I just feel like I don't want to do that. I don't like the lightness that it brings to the top of my eyebrows. So lately I have not been doing that. I'm going to go ahead and put on my primer. All right, so because my skin is super oily, I have been adding 2 primers. So the second primer I use is the Too Faced Hangover primer. So I just kind of take this, just add a few little drops to my skin to kind of remove the whiteness from the MOM primer. And good makeup starts with good skin. So of course y'all know that I use all 7 care products for my skincare regimen. All right, skin feeling real tight, feeling good. Okay, y'all, so let's get into this tea, girl, this story time. So before I met my husband, I actually was dating this guy, and we were dating for maybe a few years, and I think maybe like 2 years, I think. But it just wasn't right. I just felt like it was real toxic. But it was like I kept praying. I knew I needed to leave, and I kept praying to God to show me a sign that this man is not for me. But before we get really into it, I'm going to use these 2 foundations. I'm going to mix them. This is the Fit Me by Maybelline, Matte and Poreless number 332, Golden Caramel. And then this is Infallible Pro Matte L'Oreal. This is 109 Classic Tan. So I mixed them both. So yeah, so I knew that he was not for me, and I asked God to show me a sign to make sure that I'm making the right decision, and I needed to stop talking to him. At that moment, it wasn't anything like dealing with cheating yet. It was mainly about the way that he treated me, right? So I just didn't like it. It was like he always kind of, I don't know, you know how you're supposed to be treated, ladies, and if he ain't doing it right, then you know that clearly that's a red sign, and that's not a situation you want to be in. So I asked God to show me a sign, and he did just that. So I'm the type of person where I don't ignore the signs. You know how some people be, you know, asking God to show you, is there nothing in here? There's nothing in this one. Okay, I got another one, a brand new one. Okay, see, I totally forgot I even had this one. But yeah, so I'm not the type of person that ignores the signs. I definitely pay attention to all the red flags. So when I remember one day we were doing a triple date night with my sisters, two of my sisters and their boyfriends, movies, and my sister had a SUV at the time, and so it was a small SUV, so it really wasn't enough room for everybody to sit like on the second level. So somebody had to sit in the back, like the third level, like the trunk area. And so because he's the man, you know, he was like, I'll sit back there. So when he sat back there, he got on his phone. And when he was on his phone, I could see the reflection from his phone into the window, right? So I was like, oh my God. He was texting. Some girl was sending him like lingerie picture. So instantly I was like, I'm not gonna say anything right now. I'm gonna wait till we get to back to the house. Because I didn't want to make a big scene in front of everybody, but I could literally see that he's talking to some girl that's sending him lingerie pictures. And so that same day we broke up, and that was it. Like, that was all the sign that I needed. A few months went by. I'm focusing so much on myself. I wrote like a letter to God, and I put down what type of man that I wanted. But I mainly wanted to focus on myself because I was still in college at that time, and I knew that I wanted to make something out of myself. I knew that my life, you know, didn't revolve around men at that moment. So, and I wanted my life to revolve around myself. I wanted to get to know Lonnie better. You know, I wanted to make sure that I accomplished all my goals. I had just finished crossing, aka I think I had just was about to apply for an internship, just getting all of my things ready in line. So I just didn't want any extra stress after we had, you know, broke up. So when I wrote this letter to God, I was very specific about what I wanted. I put, you know, that whenever I do decide to get into a relationship, I want him to find me. I want a good, understanding man that definitely had a lot of faith in God, that was all about me, that loved me, that could actually teach me some things, loved to make memories, someone that I really didn't, I don't think I even ever put the financial part in there, because my main thought was, because I am in college, I know I'm going to be successful, right? And me personally, I don't need a man to finance me. I can finance myself. I just need a man to cater to me and show me that he loves me and actually teach me some things, make me feel like we are a partner, like we're partners, right? Best friends. And so that's exactly what I put in the letter. And I knew what I wanted. It was like every relationship I ever was in. Oh, and this is Hourglass. And so I knew exactly what I wanted. And I knew that I wasn't going to settle. I had already put it out there what type of man I wanted, and that he had to be, you know, very much goal-oriented, just overall a good God-fearing man that I feel like can be a great husband and potentially a great father if we decided to, you know, have kids. You know, he was going to be my man, someone that actually loved me, put me first, and that he was very much family oriented, because the last relationship I was in, he was not family oriented. And I am a big family person. I literally live for my family. Like, meaning that my life wouldn't feel fulfilled without my family. I'm just, you know, I was raised with both my parents. No, they were not together, but they co-parented very well, to where it was like, it didn't even feel like they wasn't together, because I spent a lot of time with both of them. So I knew I wanted that. That was really, you know, a major key to, you know, me manifesting the type of man that I wanted. And I, honestly, I was not going to settle. I was not going to settle for anyone that didn't treat me the way that I wanted to be treated. And because I knew what I deserved. I knew what type of woman I was, and I knew what I wanted. So we were on campus, and I saw this handsome guy, And I was like, oh, he's cute. You know, I love, you know, a good little chocolate. And so I noticed that he was walking with a girl though. And so I was like, he got a girlfriend. And so I didn't think anything of it. I just thought that he was cute. And so, because I normally don't see guys at school that I found to be attractive. I don't know why. I just never really saw anybody that I thought that was attractive outside of him. So a few weeks went by and we were on campus and I was like sitting out. This is Sasha Buttercup. I was sitting outside of the computer lab. And when I was sitting outside the computer lab, all of a sudden I looked up and it was him and he was just staring at me. And then I looked down because I was like, is he staring at me or is he staring at my... I couldn't tell what he was looking at, but I knew he was standing there holding the door open, just like literally like with the door open like this. So I was like, hey, what's up? You know, because he just like, just staring at me, right? So he came over, he was like, what you doing? Oh, you studying and all this? And I'm like, okay, so this guy, he making small talk. So, and he looked so handsome. I remember he had on like a red, and this is crazy, we've been together 10 years, but I remember what he had on. He had on some blue jeans with a plaid shirt. It was red, green, and white. Yep, it was plaid, and it was red, green, and white. And so, and I had on a white shirt, which is like a oversized white shirt with some blue jeans. And so I was working. I don't know what I was doing. I know I was on the computer. I was studying, preparing for maybe like some kind of test. And so he was just making small talk. So he saw my AKA bag, and he was like, "Oh, you are AKA," and you know, making small talk. Oh yeah, I know a bunch of AKs. This person I know is AKA, this and that. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. You know, we're just making small talk. So one of my friends came over, and he was a part of my accounting organization that I was a part of, and he was, you know, just making small talk too. He came over and he was like, hey Lonnie, because we was about to get ready. I think we was about to get ready to go to accounting. And so, because my bachelor's is in accounting, and so is my husband. So he has a bachelor's in accounting as well. This is Juvia's Place. This is a blush palette. And so he was like, oh yeah, so y'all in doing accounting and stuff like that. We all just talking about that. And I was telling him how, well, I was like, well, I gotta go because we got class and blase blase. So I told him I had to leave, and then so he was like, okay, cool. Well, y'all say y'all was going to an accounting event tonight, right? And I was like, yeah. I said you should come. You know, you should come to the event. And so he was like, okay, cool. And that was it. So we didn't exchange numbers or anything like that. So I was thinking to myself, maybe he didn't want to talk to me because he did not ask me for my phone number. A few days go by, and I ended up seeing him in the hallway. We were walking and we ran into each other again. And so he was like, hey, I didn't see you at the event the other night. And so I was like, huh? And he was like, yeah, I went to the event and you didn't go. And I was like, oh my God. I had no idea that he actually was going to go to the event. And then later on, one of his friends, his best friend, was told me that he went there looking for me so that he could ask me for my phone number, because he didn't want to ask me for my phone number because the guy had came over, my friend from my class had came over, and he didn't want to ask me for my number, and I turned him down in front of him. So he didn't ask me at that time. He wanted to ask me at the event. So I was like, what? So, and then even when we ran into each other that day in the hallway, he did not ask me for my phone number. So I'm like, dang, I keep running into this guy and he is not asking me for my number. So then a few days or a few weeks went by, and my line sister had a divorce party. And so at that time, everybody in Houston was going to this club called Grooves. And so we all went to that club, you know, to celebrate her divorce. And how ironic, huh? So we ended up going to a divorce party. Well, I went to a divorce party, and then so he happened to be there, right? Not for her, but because his friend, well, one of his, she's actually like his cousin, kind of is like a, I don't want to say she's a club promoter, but she's definitely like a socialite of Houston. She manages different artists and stuff like that. And so she was there. They was there together. And so he knew my line sister. So remember previously I told you that he said he knew some AKAs, but I didn't know he knew my line sister, which happened to be my link. So we were standing by each other. Her name is Janisha. Me and Janisha were standing by each other. And so he came over and he hugged Janisha and started talking to her. He said hi to me too. He gave me a hug, but he started, talking to her. And then I walked away because I didn't know that he wanted to talk to me. Remember, he never asked me for my phone number, not one time at this point. So after him and Janisha finished talking, she came over to me and she was like, "Lonnie, oh my God, Michael wants to talk to you." She was like, "Girl, how you know all this stuff about you?" During the time that we first met, I told him my birthday. I told him all of these things about me that he actually remembered, about my zodiac sign, everything. Like, he knew everything. He remembered everything that I told him within just those few minutes of us talking. So he told her to give me his number. And so I was like, okay. And so of course I asked her, I said, well, before I hit him up, what kind of guy is he? Because at this point, I'm not about to be wasting my time. I had already been single for a few months and I'm just like, worrying about me. But of course, if something was to pop off, I wouldn't prevent it. I still, if the opportunity presents itself and it's a good opportunity, right? So she was like, "No, Lonnie, he's a really good stand-up guy. He, he owns his own house. He has a nice job. He has a nice car. All of these things." I'm like, "Oh, he owned his own house in college?" We was in our 20s at that time. And she was like, "Yeah, she was like, him and his ex-girlfriend broke up, so he's single." And so I was like, okay, so he is single. And so I was like, okay. So she ended up giving me his phone number. And so I ended up hitting him up that night. And so he always bring it up because he was like, "Yeah, you ain't waste no time. You hit me up that night." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And because I knew that I found him to be very attractive, for one. And then all of the things that she told me about him were great, right? So we ended up talking, and he told me that the girl that he was walking with was his classmate, and it was just like discussing stuff about class. So I was like, "Oh, okay, so good." So after that, we would talk on the phone a lot, and it was so shocking because he was the only guy that I ever really talked to that liked to talk on the phone. He didn't mind it at all. He wasn't a big texter. It's like we'll be texting and then he'll just call me because he'll be like, "I want to talk on the phone." So I really, really like that. So then he asked me on a date, and on our first date, my friend came with us. And so he paid for everything, and my friend ended up marrying his best friend, which is crazy. And then Michael and I got married as well. And so now we've been together almost 10 years. And I remember that every time I was introduced to anybody that he knew, he just automatically almost like he praised me in a way. Like he always listened. He just always paid attention to every detail. And it was like the man that I actually manifested to God, that I wrote down what I wanted. And it's like God sent him to me. And for a long time, I thought that I was going to be the single friend, because most of my friends all had boyfriends, like through high school, college, for years. I was the only friend that really didn't have a consistent long relationship until I met my husband. And so what I liked about him too is that he went to church every single Sunday. He prayed every night. And his father is a pastor as well. And he just is a overall stand-up guy. Like, I'm just so lucky and blessed to have someone that I get to share, you know, this life with, my soulmate. So yeah, that's pretty much how I met my husband and how I manifested him. And it's crazy because when I first met my husband, or when we started dating and we talked about kids, I told him I didn't want a kid. Because at that moment, I mean, I just never thought about, I'm not going to say at that moment, I think my mind was more about, you know, growing and just, you know, getting to the point in life to where I feel like I can actually say I'm successful and I'm ready to have a kid. So it's like when you meet that right person, though, it's like your whole mind changed about things that you originally thought you wanted. So when he actually said he wanted to have a kid, and then we tried to have a kid and we kept having numerous of miscarriages, I think that kind of really messed with us both. And then all of a sudden God gave us 7. So that's why we actually named her 7 too, because our whole marriage and everything centers around, our whole relationship centers around the number 7. So we were together 7 years before we could actually conceive, even though we had previously been pregnant twice, but we actually didn't have a full-term pregnancy until our 7th year of actually being together. We were able to have 7, well, conceive 7, which was so crazy. So even with me being a AK, my line number is 7. When we first met, we both had 7 siblings. It's just crazy. His birthday is on the 17th, and my January 17th, and my birthday is January 27th. And we met when I hit him up and we started actually talking and started dating, it was on October 7th. It's like 7 has always been that completion number for us. And I feel like that's why all the time I think about how God actually really answered my prayers. He answered my prayers every day. So I am definitely grateful to God, and I thank him every day for where I am in life, just with the type of man that I have. So our house is actually, it was his house before I actually moved in here, and then as you see, I took over. That's what happens, ladies. We take over our man's house, but for the best, right? So I am almost done, but yeah, I just wanted to share my story with y'all, because just in case anyone, because I do have a lot of single friends and they are looking for, you know, a spouse. We're all in our 30s, so everyone at this point is trying to, you know, settle down and find their person. And so I just wanted to give y'all some encouragement that, you know, all you have to do is focus on learning yourself first, learning what you want, asking God, and not settling for just anything, and don't allow people to treat you any kind of way. My husband has been consistent since day one, never made me feel like I wasn't his main priority. So from the beginning, he always have made that very clear. He even always say that he bought this house for us, for his family, even before he even met me. So you want to make sure that when you're dating someone, that the feelings need to always be mutually beneficial, and that you know your value, you know your worth. So if you are, I never had to question whether or not I wanted to be with my husband. I remember during the time we were dating, I was going through a unhealthy phase because of my previous guy that I dated. You know, I found him cheating, and then the way that he treated me, I wasn't used to such a man treating me the way that Michael did. And he was handsome, and he was just, he always had this alpha male dominance about him that I love, but at the same time he has a sweet spot. It's just, I was like, this is too good to be true. So, you know, and I pushed him away a lot, but even though I pushed him away so much, he always never left. He never left. He, out of almost 10 years, we've never broke up. Never. That's crazy to me. But yeah, definitely put that out there, what you want, and it's going to come to you. All right, y'all, so I just put on my lip liner, And this liner is from the Snob collection. I love brown lip liners. My favorite. I ended up putting this lip liner on without even having which gloss in mind that I'm going to put on. So I'm just going to move to the eyeliner. And this is from NYX Epic Wear. This is one of my favorites. It's waterproof. And this is hard to take off at nighttime when you're cleaning your face. You do have to wipe it off a few times until it actually comes off. So it's not really the easiest, but I do like it because sometimes my eyes water, and when it waters, it actually messes up my eyeliner. And when I'm doing my eyeliner, I like to go thick at the end and thin in the front. Eyeliner is on, looking good. You know, our grow up has always been together. You know, he got a good job. Well, he's a tattoo artist now, so he built his own career. And the same with me. I'm an influencer. I do own my own company as well. So it's like we just always have had our growth times together, which makes it even more special. And this is the Too Faced Prime Set Refresh Hangover 3-in-1. So before I put my lashes on, I like to spray this. And then I just take one of these palettes and fan. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the eyeshadow that I use is from Colourpop. And Sparkler is the name of this little palette. And I really like it. It has 4 different colors. Very much everyday wear. Like, well, the dark colors may not be enough for, appropriate for every day. If you want something, this is more like a nighttime, I would say, palette. I'm actually doing my makeup because I'm creating some content later today. But this is a little dark for every day, I would say. But you know, are there really any rules? You know, you do your own thing. And this is Dior. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm hoping I pronounce this correctly, but Dior Cream Eyeshadow Crayon. And it's called Abstract. It's black. It does have a little sparkle of glitter in here. So I like it. I like how it always makes my under eye look really dark. But hold tight. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my lashes and my lip gloss. So I'll be right back, y'all. All right, you guys. So this is the final look. I put on my lashes and added some lip gloss. I can't remember which lashes these are. I'm so sorry, but I think I found them on Amazon. So I'll link some similar pair of lashes in the bio. The lip gloss I have on is a mixture of these two. They're both from Snob collection. And I'll make sure I link these lip glosses as well. But I hope you guys like my first ever story time. I just want to thank you guys for all of the support that you have been showing me on my channel. Thank you for just, you know, liking and commenting and sharing and all of those things. I even seen that I even have people that get notifications from me. So thank y'all. Hey, we're going up. So anyways, thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you also turn on the notification button if you want to see whenever I post a new video. I'm hoping that I start posting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's the goal. But if it ain't gonna be on one of those days, it's gonna be at least sometime during the week. I'm gonna try to do at least 3 videos a week. So thank you again, and I love y'all. And one more thing before you go, make sure that you go watch my other videos. I have a lot of videos on this channel that you need to watch, that you're missing out on. So go watch those videos now. And again, peace, love, and happiness, YouTube family. Bye. See you next time.
I'm kinda new with apologies.